So starting tomorrow morning, me and my friends Jonathan, Matt, and then my mom's gonna be coming with us too, are gonna be starting the drive out from where I live in New Jersey all the way to Minnesota.
Wash that in there. I try to stuff my boots in there too. Just put your Let's throw this stuff in here for now. We can reorganize it tomorrow. I just want to get out of my car.
Current time is 6:15 and we're heading out. Supposedly some sort of famous Wisconsin gas station, according to Jonathan. So where have you heard of this place before, Jonathan?
There's like a bunch of people on, I guess, YouTube or whatever that make videos, just random people, and they're all, there's like a group, and they're all from the Midwest or Wisconsin or whatever, and they're always talking about their quick trips. And like, they act like it's the greatest thing in the whole world.
I've never even heard of it. It looked decent inside though, kind of like a Wawa. Yeah. We are not in New Jersey anymore. We are in a hotel out here in Duluth, Minnesota. So we got here late last night, probably around, I think it was like maybe around 11 Central Time, which was really like 12 Eastern Time, which is, you know, Jersey time. We drove out here, probably took, it was like a 19-hour drive, and we actually were not planning on staying a night in Duluth. We were planning on staying all our nights a little bit further north, but we wound up getting here much earlier than we thought. We didn't know if we were going to get here until like 2 in the morning. If we got here at 2 in the morning, we were just going to sleep in the car for a few hours, but since we got here earlier, we stayed the night here. And this is a trip that I've been wanting to go on for years. Minnesota is known for its rare boreal birds and owls like great gray owl, hawk owl, all of that stuff. So I'm very excited to be on this trip. We're gonna see what we get.
This guy's snow, not this place. All right. So, Jonathan.
Yeah.
You.
Service.
We have Verizon. What do you have?
All right, so we've just gotten out here to our first birding stop of the trip, looking for great gray owl and hawk owl. We've got the thermals out, looking to see if we can find one because they'll detect heat. They work well when it's this cold out. So, right now it's raining a little bit and like kind of sleeting, but I'm hoping that's gonna switch to snow because otherwise it's gonna, I mean, it's actually not coming down that bad anymore, but.
Yep.
I mean, right now, I think kind of cruise around for great grays. I hear chickadees. There's a lot of evening grosbeaks.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some back there too. It was about 35. I think 35 is a good estimate.
Agreed. There's a lot.
Very social.
Yeah.
This guy's got serious feeders.
Oh, damn.
Red squirrel.
Gosh,
Look at all the grosbeaks. Are they all evenings? Yep, there's some skeletons. As I said, they have some deer ribs up.
Yeah, they do the deer ribs.
Where?
I'm gonna get out so I can't see over there.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's some big deer ribs. I think that was totally Bohemian.
Wait.
So right as Matt was getting out of the car, he spotted a waxwing that was flying over, and it looked pretty big, and we had a good feeling it was a Bohemian. So we got out and started looking, and we wound up coming across a flock of, I don't know, maybe about like 20, 30 Bohemian waxwings in the top of this tree. Was not the best views. They were high and backlit, and then they took off, but that was the first light for the trip for Matt and Jonathan.
Alright.
Let's keep going.
Anything good?
All
The
info.
visitor center is the best place for photos of evening at Pine Grove Beaks.
Oh, I
There
need
are
pine.
two deer carcasses there, one in front of the building, one behind the building, and Ermine goes to the one in front. The guy said about 1:30 is a good time for that.
Okay. Well, we'll be
Admiral
around here
Road is
all
also
day.
good for evening Grove Beaks and Pine Grove Beaks and photography and stuff like that. And that one has Pine Martin that comes through. He said the Hawk Gal is at the...
Yeah, that's where we came in.
Yep. He said as far as they know, there's only about 4 great grays in the bog total right now. He said last year there's about 20.
Wow.
So they're not erupting down.
There's still some though, so we can still
So
get
there's
one.
still some.
I think it's cool that we got Bohemians around here because, to be honest, I had not been seeing a lot of reports of them around at all. And that was a lifer for both of you guys, right?
Yep.
That's lots of good intel though. And it's kind of consistent with like what I was looking at on the chats and stuff, but a little bit more precise.
All a heat signature.
All right.
Could just be a squirrel.
Right here, it's a squirrel.
There's so many squirrels.
Jonathan, the squirrel sergeant.
Hey, it's worth checking all that stuff. That's how the thermal just like picks that up. You never would have seen that otherwise.
You know, he's really not a snow shade of white. He's awake and fully alert.
Yeah. I want to grab my camera real quick and get some shots. That's so cool. Honestly, I'm excited for that. I've always wanted to see snowshoe here.
Well,
It is deep. Well, this is how people get stuck in the snow.
No, you can see it. And it does look like...
Whoa. It's starting to snow now. I'm just gonna like...
to the video.
There we go, we're out. So far we've gotten Bohemian waxwing, lots of evening grosbeaks, lots of red squirrels that Jonathan's found with the thermal, ravens, and the snowshoe hare that Jonathan just found. And honestly, I'm really excited about that because I've always wanted to see one. Not the best 4 opportunities is back in there in the trees, and tried to look for it and go in there a little bit, but still cool. Got some great views of that. They're cool. Ooh, some nice Canada jays. What they're calling. So sweet. Jonathan just spot top of that tree. Lifer, pine grosbeak for me. First lifer of the trip for me. That's so cool. Oh, there's an Evgar. Where's that?
You should be able to assign different sounds for different apps. So when...
And I think that's what I saw.
Okay.
Oh, man, that thing's so cool.
There you go. So all the way out there on the very top of that tree, that little dot, is a shrike. Northern shrike.
That only was in this tree right here.
Some of them have been that close.
I'm sure it moves around a lot. So are shrikes technically birds of prey? I don't know, I guess.
As we were looking at the shrike in the scope, some guy pulled up and he started to tell us about some spots where we might be able to get better views of shrike. Really?
That's the eastern side, and you'll see one up top, and then they move down like 50 feet away.
Oh wow.
Really? That's so cool.
Nice.
All right, we
Thanks for the
we
tip.
gotta check that spot out.
Shrikes are so cool, I don't know why.
I like shrikes. I've never really photographed one well.
Because they're little songbirds, birds of prey.
So after we were looking at the shrike, we were then going to go over to some feeders to try to photograph some stuff in the snow, but let's just say we got a little lost. So all the way out there at the edge of that field, there's some snow buntings. We kind of wound up at this spot, kind of by accident. We wanted to see some snow buntings around here, and we were going to go to this spot later, but we were trying to get to some feeders to photograph some stuff in the snow, and maps got all messed up, and we wound up closer to this spot. So we got our
Minnesota snow buntings. So we eventually made it to the visitor center feeders, and I was actually peeing when my mom came running to get me because she said that there was an ermine right out in the open. So right in there by that rib cage, there's just an ermine. Gotta wait for it to come back out. It's just been poking around in there. Is he like right in here now? Oh god. He's like yellow. Oh my god. That was crazy. So we've been burning all around these roads. Like I said, we were trying to get to this spot, and then we wound up at the spot for the snow buntings. We wound up close to this. So we got the snow buntings, and then we went up here at the feeders. They got like all these feeders set up, and they even have like rib cages and stuff that the woodpeckers pick on and stuff like ermine. So that's not a bird, but that's something that I've wanted to photograph. So we got to this spot, and as soon as we got here, there was an ermine running around, like literally just running around the trail, and it was so cool. There's a bunch of photograpers here, and everyone was getting shots of it, and it was just running all over the place. It had this huge piece of meat that it took from one of the rib cages, and it took such a big piece that it was having trouble running around with it. And then it went in there, and it took the meat in there with them. So I don't know if it lives in there or what, but that was just so crazy cool. Yeah, like I was shooting, I've got the 300 2.8 on right now. Usually I use it, you know, without a teleconverter, but since some of the winter finches and stuff that I was photographing earlier, like the pine grosbeaks, were a little further, I had a teleconverter in. Ermine was so close, I was missing shots. It was just so close and moving around so much. It was crazy. Right now we're currently at Zaxton Bog. That's kind of where we've been stationed around all morning. And they've got a bunch of different feeders set up. There's the visitor center feeders, which is where we're at now. Then there's all other feeding stations all around here. So tonight, and for the rest of the time that we're here, for the rest of the week, we're actually staying in some lodges right in Zaxton Bog. That's kind of what's going on. So, and honestly, even though the maps kind of got messed up, and we wound up getting here at just the right time because we got that ermine. For the rest of the week, we're going to be burning all around Minnesota, working on photography, and getting whatever we can. So, no owls yet, which we want some of those good northern owls, but this is first day, day one, and we are far from done. Got the infamous Zaxton Bog sign right there. We lost the boys. We'll see if we can find them. So it took me a few minutes, but I was able to find the boys, and they were photographing some evening grosbeaks behind the building at some feeders. There's some of the tops of the tree. There. Yeah. I don't even see the candidates. Oh, there's one. Yeah, they come in and everything else clears out. So cool to hear like them all calling with this big flock.
Where's this Gray Jay trail?
I think the Gray Jay trail was back by the other place.
You know, like the outhouses one? There's a trail to the right.
Oh.
I don't know if that was a Gray Jay trail.
I don't know.
I saw there was a trail that led.
Gotta send Jonathan down that trail and find a great gray. That's probably where the boreal owls are. Evening grosbeaks were not being all that cooperative backed by those feeders, so now we're moving on to a second set of feeders to look for boreal chickadee. And apparently there's a snowshoe hare back here too.
You know,
And they're still alive, so we think these are larches, which are conifers that drop their needles. So that's pretty cool. Here's a little update for you guys. So me, Matt and Jonathan walked all the way down this trail where supposedly there's really consistent boreal chickadees, which is a bird that we all really want to photograph. I've never really gotten good shots of them, and that's a bird that Matt and Jonathan have never seen. So we spent a lot of time back there. Got 2 snowshoe hares, kind of bad views of them, but unfortunately no boreal chickadees. So now they're back at those same feeders where we were trying to photograph the evening grosbeaks, seeing if they're going to come in more because they've been kind of finicky. and I just went back to the car real quick to get some pretzels. Anyway, that's what's going on. I don't really know where we're heading to next. I don't know if we're gonna keep looking for owls or if we're gonna keep looking for boreal chickadees, but we do have some days here, so I think there's a good chance we can get stuff. Oh, and also this morning it was kind of like raining and sleeting, and it was really like blech out. Then it started snowing, which was awesome, and for like the past like maybe hour or so, it switched back to like this rain crap. So I'm pretty much soaked from walking all the way back in the woods.
He landed.
Where did you land? Oh,
In the tree.
Oh, sweet. Second life of the trip. So after going around the bog for a while all morning, we then head off to Duluth for two reasons. One, there were some spots and some birds that we wanted to hit around there. And also, my mom rented a car from around there since she wasn't going to be burning with us the whole time, and we had to go to Duluth to pick up the rental car. I don't know if it's in someone's yard, but somewhere around here there is a Townsend Solitaire. And that's all I know. I know the pin, there were like a few pins on eBird like around this area, and I have the other pins taken down too. But it kind of moves around this area. And look at like anyone's feeders or anything to see if there's anything there. That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna fall in this. Basically, we've been here for like 2 seconds. And Jonathan just found the Townsend Solitaire that we came to Duluth for. That's a lifer for me. Whoa. I'm gonna fall down, aren't I? Oh, shoot. So after we got the Townsend Solitaire, we then went over to this little park where there had apparently been a boreal chickadee, and a few years ago there had also been a boreal owl here, so we figured we'd check it out. We didn't find either of them there, so then since it was getting late and it was dusk, we then started cruising around some roads where I'd heard there are sometimes great gray owls around Duluth. So we cruised all around there, and unfortunately we didn't find any great grays, but we did definitely give it a shot.
Alright, where's this thing at? If this is a red squirrel, I'm gonna go find it.
I'm gonna get out too.
Be careful, do not.
We're watching you.
We're watching you, alright. Oh, don't. Oh, good lord. I'm gonna freaking die out here. I see it.
Might be just a squirrel. Oh. Yeah, he's sleeping right here. Right there, DJ.
So finally, after burning all around, we got the rental car, picked up some dinner, and headed over to our cabin, which was where we were going to be staying for the next week. Even though we didn't get all of our target birds and all of the photos that we wanted to get, we still had a good amount of days to explore northern Minnesota. I can't believe you freaking got one. That's unbelievable. So freaking cool. We're doing it. We can get hawk owl and great gray same morning. Holy